as Monty Python says, now for something completely different. What is it? Well, a complex tale of love, honour, betrayal, murder, paranoia and espionage. Have you ever wondered how power and politics play out in Africa? If so, then Kingmakers, a fictional drama set in the United Kingdom, Africa, America and France, tries to answer that question. Created, written, produced and directed by Nicholas Beveney, the story follows the bitter fight for the leadership of the fictional nation of Karombe between brothers, generals and agents of the state after the death of the country's president. Well, Nicholas and actor Ken Smart, who plays King Ade in the film, have joined me in the studio. But before I talk to them, let's get a flavour of what Kingmakers is all about.
We need someone beneficial to us. We don't want to change any of our agreements. Keep the cohesion alive.
I'm lost. I don't know what this has to do with me.
Don't play the antagonist with me. My fuse is short.
We have Karombe. Their president, a despot called Abeche, has kicked the bucket. And from a reliable source, the country's $898 billion deficit to France, the USA and the UK is locked up in multiple banks from the Cayman Islands to Timbuktu.
Who else have you been courting?
Abdullah.
He swindles you, yes?
So how much do you want?
Femi, you are not thinking straight.
Don't you dare tell me how I'm thinking!
Death tried to persuade me otherwise, to walk in his direction. But I beat Death to a pulp until he told me to stop.
That trail says a lot, really, doesn't it? Some trails, they don't really give that much away. But there's so much energy, there's so much intensity and so much anger in just those few seconds.
Yes, and it is it's a story of power, love, leadership. It sounds like the recent elections.
It didn't involve quite so many countries.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's got all those elements. And also it's a story about family as well. Mm. So, yeah, it was a difficult...
I mean, it's interesting because everyone thinks that these are very African themes, but in reality they're not. They can apply to any country, any continent, can't they?
Yeah, it's a national theme everywhere. And I think no one's done a kind of political African genre in a while. So it's something that I really wanted to tackle.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's also very Shakespearean as well. Was that something which drew you to it, Ken? Because you play the king, Your Majesty.
Yes. To be honest with you, it was until when I actually got into character that I actually understand how much is actually expected of me. And the fact that we had to travel all over United Kingdom to film this was actually quite challenging and something very interesting as well, because it actually made me to appreciate what we have around this place, because I wouldn't have traveled to some places,
sure,
especially the castle we use up north. I never knew there was something like that, you know, in this part of the world.
Because it is a very big cast, isn't it?
Yes, really big that I've not met the rest of the cast. Maybe on red carpet I'll be asking, so what role do you play?
But I mean, some of the cast members will be familiar to British television viewers from people who like Hollyoaks, the soap opera, and Coronation Street. But here they are, playing these really scheming characters, completely going against type in many ways.
Yeah, and I really wanted to do that. I mean, someone like Pamela Nombete, who's in South Africa at the moment, she was in Corrie for a while, and I said, look, we want to do something dark, and it's a really dark character, and is it something you're up for the challenge? And I mean, she was amazing with everybody else. So.
And what was her role? Was she the queen, or was she...
She plays the president's wife.
Well, a Lady Macbeth type character.
Yes, yeah.
Oh dear.
And she's all about pushing her son for leadership. So the spoiler alert is she kills the president, but he lives on, so...
But we don't know how he lives on, whether he lives on in spirit or via another child, or whether he's just faked his death.
No, you're really spoiling it. So.
No, I've actually put out alternatives, it's pick what you want.
I thought you had seen it.
Right, so he does all three. Well, that's pretty good. So how did you manage to do all three? But no, if you had to describe the character of the king, for example, I mean, is he a weak man? Is he one of these characters who's very deceptive because he seems quite humble, but in actual fact there's a lot of Machiavellianism going on in there?
No, I don't think so. I think the king is actually a strong character in this kind of situation. But, you know, in a situation where you know that you have to be hiding because you've got a lot of people who are after you. You don't know their intention, whether to assassinate you. So the king is also smart, you know, and he's got a beautiful queen that is always protecting their interests together. So I think we've got a king who possibly in part 2 is going to show the true color.
Yeah.
But at this stage, I think the king is just trying to be smart and trying to prevent being assassinated because there are so many killers around. You know?
So is he one of the few honourable characters in the ensemble, or are there other honourable characters who in some way support him?
Yeah, no, there are, and it's not all negative. I think you have to have balance of both. So even though the piece is dark, and we do go there, I think you do have to balance where someone wants to live by the good side of what's going on in this whole African nation, and I think the king is definitely a conduit for that. And there's other characters as well, even though there are some very dark characters in this.
I think there's a bit of love and romance in the whole thing because while people were on exile, they were still able to bond the king and the queen. So it's not something for the audience
and it is a beautiful love story of the king and queen. And I always say behind every powerful man is an amazing woman supporting him.
Right, but she supports him in a positive way, as opposed to I need to get you to stay where you are because I want X, Y, Z.
Yeah, I think because they've been in exile in the UK and they want to go back home and do what's right for the nation, even if that means dying for the cause. And that is very honourable, and that's what the king is.
But it's fascinating as well, because from the perspective of the writer, you have created very strong female characters that, OK, some of them are duplicitous, they're untrustworthy, but they're remarkable because they play the men at their own game. And then you've got the queen, who is strong in her own way. She's strong with love. She's supportive of her husband. She shares his values. She will put them on the line with him. Yeah, and I think I needed to show that because I'm coming from the British perspective and watching a lot of television. The female role was, there was demise of strong female characters, and that's something I feel very strongly about writing, as well as having a diverse cast. So I really wanted to put that in my writing and push that. Who is this drama aimed at? Is it the sort of thing which perhaps to understand it really well, to get the context, to get the Shakespeareanism, you've got to be a little bit older, a bit mature? Is it that sort of thing which appeals to everybody?
I was trying to get that appeal for everyone, so I guess it's from, 18 all the way upwards. I had a Nollywood producer call me, and we've got a screening on May the 22nd, which we've done a cinematic cut. And he said, Nick, the Nollywood critics might crucify you. And I said, well, if they do, then I'm in a good place.
Because that's the interesting thing about it, that you can just tell from this trail. I mean, I saw quite a few trails for this production. Yeah. It doesn't have the feel of a typical Nollywood production. It almost feels as if it's been shot by the Royal Shakespeare Company. It's just got that look, that feel, that tone to it.
Yeah, I didn't want to push it as a Nollywood film, because it isn't. But I know we've got Nollywood stars in there, and I know we've got European actors in there, so I just wanted to get an eclectic cast and put them together and see what I can really bring out of this production.
So it's a superb balance, and certainly from your point of view, a really groundbreaking role, playing a royal, for someone who survives in this complex situation.
To be honest with you, I think it's a great honour for him to have cast me for that.
Well, I noticed
because I don't have a royal blood, so I have one now.
Yeah, but for the purposes of this, you do have royal blood. I mean, they've all been bowing to him as he came into the studio. But I mean, this is premiering this month at the Greenwich Odeon.
So it's on Friday, May the 22nd. 9 p.m. So I love everyone to come down and support us and even talk about it, because when I write something, it's to provoke dialogue.
Yeah, well, I think you'll do that. But gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me here on This Day Live. Good luck with the film. It looks absolutely brilliant.